So today we are talking about Curse of the Masterpiece. So what happens when you have a hit? What happens when you write a song that you're like, "Oh my God, this is the bomb. This is the best ever." What happens after that when you're like, "What am I gonna do now? Now that I've written this um, great song, what do I do next?" Curse of Masterpieces. And what does that mean, Curse of Masterpieces? What do you do when you've had like a really successful song? What do you do when you've written something and you're like, this is the bomb? What do you do when you've gone viral? What do you do when you've had a moment, that masterpiece moment? What do you do next? Right? You're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? I had a hit and I don't know what to do now. Well, some of it becomes, some of the problem is just literally the idea of like, oh, I need to write a hit. 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 And actually striving for a hit is most likely how you did not get the first hit. You did something authentic. You did something unique. You followed an idea, an inner vision the first time that led you to something that really resonated. People vibed with it. You told the truth. People were wowed by it, right? That did not come from attempting to write a hit. That came from you following an inner vision. That came from you being truthful. That came from you trusting an impulse, taking a risk, being innovative. And the trouble is when you try to make a hit, you actually will become risk averse. Like, oh, well, that's not really popular, or that's not how things work. So you will be less likely to take the risk to be different. And it's the being different, it's the trend setting, it's the inner vision that makes things special. So I think it's really important, this idea of rinse, repeat. How did I get success the first time? So taking this to vocal technique, there are some tools we use in vocal technique that are very, very consistent, and you really don't change them. You keep using them. You just get better and better at using them, from the physical to the artistic to the spiritual. The tools actually don't change. If you think about, how do you play basketball? How do you play tennis? Ball in the hoop, ball over the net. Like the end goal doesn't change, and the way you play the game just gets, again, the advancement of it becomes your wisdom of it, your spirit in the game. But you rinse, repeat the same thing. You're like, I'm gonna get up and practice the same thing today, and I get better at this thing I'm doing, better being more honest, better being connected, better being more authentic and more expressive. That's the better. Better at telling my 3-minute story, better at imagery, better at making sure better at my emotions being so embedded in these lyrics and this melody, writing a stronger melody lyric combination. So I don't think you have to outdo yourself. I think that you have to do yourself again and again. You have to just be you again. Can I take the same steps? Can I get more courageous in taking risks? Is there a way that I want to express this that is even more uniquely myself? Or is there a layer? I watched this wonderful documentary about John Wick and the making of John Wick and how it all came to be. And I really like the John Wick films. They're way too violent for me. Oh my gosh, while I'm watching them, I'm like, oh, don't look. Like, it's so too violent for me. And yet I love it. And watching this documentary, it showed how this film and this whole concept came to be and how it came together. And I'd say it was decades in the making. It was the director and Keanu having known each other and worked together literally for over, like, probably a couple decades. Like, they'd known each other so long that relationship alone, like, the director knew how far he could push Keanu. They had such a rapport. They had a strong philosophy that was like, there has to be some suffering and pain for the success. And that was a shared belief and philosophy and way they lived experience. There was a love of kung fu and B movies and being highly stylized. Like when you start to see the layers, and when I was watching this and hearing about the layers, and then knowing this film I've seen, and then watching it again, looking at the layers that they've created, that's where the magic is. The magic in this film is the director, Keanu. We are putting the love we have of certain things in filmmaking together, plus doing these things that haven't been done before that we're really excited about, plus Keanu's work ethic, plus working with working with the gun specialist and finding that they could do something that hadn't been done before to get them this excitement that they wanted. Having Keanu having like 20 let's say 20 moves with the gun, like, oh, you could do this with the gun, you could do that. And then also with so that which made the fights actually be more spontaneous. Often, with stunt work, right, everything is super choreographed, so there's no changing it, whereas they could on the day of go, hey, we want to change this. And when you watch the film, it feels so alive, it feels so like a real fight, because it was like so much of it became new. Well, watching and listening to this documentary, it's so beautiful because you get to understand, oh, this is why this movie is so good, this is why I really like this movie so much, because you're hearing the inner vision and the passion and the layers that they were putting together that became what we see, right? And this is what we do in Compass in my artist development program, which is helping you, the artist, discover the layers of yourself that make who you are, that make you special, that you love. These are the parts of music that I love. This is how I love to connect with my audience. This is the part of me I love to be on stage. This is the part of me that comes alive in my music. So archetypally, this is who I am. And when we start getting all the pieces of the puzzle together, and then you start putting that puzzle together, it becomes more magical. It becomes more resonant. It is your truth. It becomes easy to do the next project and the next project. And not only that, but say, oh, I have these other ideas I want to cultivate. I want to bring them forward. Oh yeah. Okay. So let's shift the puzzle. Let's add this. It's the core is so strong. Your awareness of yourself is so strong. Your connection to your inner vision is so strong that you are able to not only recreate, but improve and elevate and hone in, that the masterpiece becomes the next evolution, becomes the next masterpiece. And the clarity, the consistency is there. When we know great art, we see the artist connected through their whole life of work. You can see their evolution and go, yeah, that's all them. And you can see the young person in their last pieces, because all of you is in everything you do. And when you know yourself, when you're clear and able to listen to that inner vision, when you're able to take the risks to listen to that inner vision, when you have the skills to put that inner vision out in a way that is tangible and resonant, this is what makes it also exciting. Some songs you write will be journals, like, that's not a song, I just needed to let that out. But creating a masterpiece is really putting yourself out there. And to put yourself out there, you need to know who you are and what you want to put out. How do I want to impact this audience? I was just talking to an artist, Julia, who finished Compass. And we were talking about her first songs coming out and the ones coming out now, the next songs she's working on to release, the first video she put. And I was like, I'm so excited and inspired by your work post Compass, because what I see and what resonates, what we get, is there is so much depth. There is so much behind the visuals that you're making in this music video that I'm curious. there's a sword and there's a silhouette and there's this red and there's chained armor in her video. Julia Kahn, go check her out. And when I'm looking at the visuals, even though I know her, right? But I'm looking at this video going, oh my gosh, I'm curious. I want to know more. I want to see this more. I want to watch it again. I want to know what inspired that. And the reason why I want to dive in is because I can tell, I can feel, and we can see that there is a world behind that video. It's not a surface idea that was marketing is shiny and glossy and very, very flat, no depth. Oh yeah, the idea was, but when I'm seeing Julia and I'm seeing Zyra's new work, and I'm seeing Zoe, and I'm seeing Lisa Heller, and I'm seeing Carly Rose, and I'm messing things up. I know I am. When I'm seeing the work of the artist coming out of Compass and their next wave of work, Asia Grammar right now, Milk, Queen Herbie, that is what I would describe, and that's where the masterpiece is. When you have so much layer, when you have so much depth to your own vision, when you have ideas on ideas of why you're doing what you're doing, that's what makes the masterpiece. Because what we get on paper, or what we get is a music video, what we get is a live show, what we get is a song. Everyone's putting out the same type of content, and you're going to do something different, being immersive but a film is a film. But when your vision is so clear, you create something special with that film that we haven't seen before. And a song is a song, and there's drums and there's guitar and there's piano and there's vocals and there's melody and there's rhythm. But when you have a clear vision, you will do something different with that song that we haven't heard before. And it's because it's being driven by your purpose, by your truth-telling, by the impact you want to have, by the rehearsal time you've put in, by the 50 songs you wrote that didn't make the album. Those 50 songs made every song on that album more amazing. Higher quality, better truth-telling, more poetic, more clear. And that's the work, that's the work. The masterpiece comes from doing it over and over and over and assessing how come this isn't landing the way I want it to? What needs to be adjusted? It's not quite right because it's too frou-frou and I need more edgy, or it's too, whatever your description is of understanding yourself. I know for me, I can say to somebody, I'm elegant and I'm ethnic, I'm bohemian chic. I'm not hippie. There's a difference. And when you know with clarity, this is who I am and how I want to say it. And now, but I'm also not entirely clear. We've got to find the pieces while we're in the studio, or I have these visual ideas and I don't know how to bring them to life. I'm going to work with this video director and see if together we can take my imagination and bring it out. You're going to find ways to do it that are going to surprise you and surprise your audience, and that are going to land and be accurate. They're going to be the masterpiece, because what you're striving for is not the hit. You're striving to express and to impact your audience the way you want to. You're striving to have that impact. You're striving to put the pieces together to make this puzzle fit. And it's that process, and it's that drive and desire that makes the masterpiece. It's not trying to be great, good, make a hit. The John Wick film talked about their love of B movies and anime and martial arts. And when you watch the movie, you go, I see the boom B movie quality in here, and it's why it's cool. It's those layers. It's just those layers. It's the film. Oh gosh, did you all see the film Soul? It's a it's an animated, I don't want to say movie for kids, but obviously also for adults. But it's a kids movie, Soul, right? Was it called Soul? Pretty sure. Let me double check. Soul film. Yeah, Pixar. Love Pixar. Soul. You love Milk and Queen Herbie. They're amazing. Milk and Queen Herbie are fabulous. And they just both finished my Compass program, and seeing that activation and what they're doing now is so exciting, and helping them build that world is so exciting. So Soul, this film Soul for kids, but Pixar movies are really awesome because there's layers for adults, right? Like they're building a film and putting together a film that kids will love and the adults that bring the kids will love. Right? Like that purpose, that intention, when they hit that, they nail it. That's why those Toy Story is so great. Pork belly's going down. That means something different to my 3-year-old than it does to me, and it's hilarious. Okay, so Soul. What I loved about Soul is it's about soul. It's about divine. It's about creativity. It is about fulfilling your purpose in life. And they visualized the divine, they visualized the soul itself, they visualized what the afterlife or the other side of our human experience might look like. And they showed it to us in such a way that my curiosity said, I wonder what inspired the way they built this world, because it's so good. Like, it's emotionally touching me. I believe their version of divinity, of the spirit world. I believe it. So I'm so curious what made the composition of it, because there's so much truth in the composition of it to the person who made it, that I feel the truth of it. And that's why it's special. And it was unique. Again, I don't even remember it right now. Like, I don't remember the details of how they did it. I remember some things were like light and lines coming together. What I remember was being so moved by it, believing it, being so curious about it, and wanting to know what was the truth and inspiration for it, because that's why this is working. That's why it's so interesting and cool and feels honest. It's amazing. And you can mix anything you want. You can, like, if your inspiration is, well, I mean, let's Chapel Roan, burlesque, queer, drag queen. Tell me it's working, right? She's like, I am a queer female drag queen with definitely burlesque influence, right? And it just keeps getting better and better. How can I express this better? Like, not better. She's not trying to be better. She's trying to be more accurate at expressing herself and her inner vision outwardly, through the makeup, through the costuming, through the visuals, through the stage performance. It's amazing, the world she's built that is her. So you need to discover, what's the world I'm building? And that needs to happen in my song. How do I build the world in my melody and in my storytelling and in the musicality? How do I build it in my live stage performance? How do I build it in my visuals? That I'm creating the masterpiece that is me, over and over and over. And the puzzle, every time you make this puzzle, every song you make is a puzzle. It's a part of the last puzzle, and a little part of the, like, they all go together to build a big masterpiece of you. And so again, it's not about how do I write a hit. It's how do I share myself the way I want to be seen, and the way I want to share myself to have the impact I want on my audience, to have that impact I want to have on you. And can I get more accurate? Can I have more fun with it? Can I bring in the layers? Can I find the colors? Can I take the risks? I'll say it again. Can I take the risks? Not will they like it? Will it succeed? Is it the puzzle? Is it the painting I'm trying to paint? Can I get it more accurate? Is that the right red tone? Is it different? Is the red, is it blood red? Is it ruby red? Is it rose red? Because it's all about an expression of you. And I'm like, I know you can see like how excited I am by this. I find it thrilling. I find it thrilling to share your truth through art, to share my truth through art. I find it I love empowering others to do it, because the more you can do you, the more goosebumps I get to have, and the world gets to have, and we get better art this way. It's how we get a film like, what's that Italian film I love called? Is it called Beauty? The Great Beauty. It's how we get a movie like The Great Beauty. It's how we get John Wick. It's how we get, is it The Bell and the Butterfly, the bell jar and the butterfly? Yes. I've learned this through 34 years of coaching, and it's who I am as a person. Why do I have a program called Compass? Why am I a holistic coach? Why am I helping artists to really be themselves? It's because this is my philosophy of life, that being true and authentic and aligned with your integrity creates a better life lived and much better art. I mean, how do we get innovation? Everyone's like, think outside the box. What's the box? The box is what's expected. It's what you've been told to do. The box is what you've been told you should be. The box is trying to write the hit song. Out of the box is simply being the weird, wonderful you that you are, and saying, okay, well, I'm an introvert. How can I be wonderfully introverted and do this? Oh, I'm an extrovert. How can I be majestically extroverted? Oh, Pink's going to fly around like Cirque du Soleil while she does her show. How many people do that? Next to none, because that's her thing. That's her, like, I want to do that. I'm a gymnast, and that excites me. She saw something that excited her, said, I want to bring that into my show, and that's what I want. That's how we got Pink doing her show. Amazing. Sia said, I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be a celebrity. So she covered her face with a wig and said, this is how I'm doing it. That's how we get Sia. So allow yourself to be influenced by your impulses and your desires, and figure out the way you want to do it. Adele said, I don't want to do an album and a single all the time. I'm going to do it like this. It's a unicorn. She's a unicorn, but she did it. So you got to find what's your story and the way you want to say it. And can you do it? Of course you can. Do it. Somebody wants to release their record and have their album release parties at roller rinks and have it be a whole skate party. Do it. What? Your favorite thing is roller skating? Put it together with your music, make a music video out of it, make a monthly event, and it's a dance party, a roller rink party, and that's your thing. Do your thing. Why not? Absolutely, why not? Amazing. No, who's done it? Nobody. Go for it. I just gave someone a great idea. Go do it. It is, it is not about reinventing success. It is about sharing yourself. It's about just constantly honing in on your unique way of expressing. I've shared this before. When I was younger writing songs, I found out by playing with my band, and we'd have charts, right? You have charts. You rehearse once, you play out. That was New York all the time, right? You get the band together and you do a one-time rehearsal and then you play the show. That was very standard at the time in New York for a lot of the singer-songwriters and all the hired musicians. And so you'd have charts for the band to read, and my MD would write the charts, and then he'd tell everybody, oh, hey, on this song, take a note of those extra 2 bars after the first chorus. And on this song, take a note of those extra 2 bars after the second verse, wherever it was. Turned out, I always had an extra 2 bars in my songs. I wrote my songs, I wrote chords, I wrote arrangements, all of it. I wasn't aware that I wrote those extra two. Like, I didn't know there was an extra 2 bars. I didn't know how to write out sheet music. I wrote chords over my lyrics. And that made my songwriting unique. As the writer, I was just in a place of, I'm not ready to come right back into my lyric and story yet. I need a moment of melody, of instrumentation. I want a little guitar part right there, because emotionally I'm not ready to like come right back in. And as a writer with and for other artists, I learned to take those out and make things a little more uniform for pop, right? Not wrong. It's just, if you want to write with others, I was standardizing a little bit. Great. But as a songwriter and as an artist, if I continue to write the way I was writing and have those extra 2 bars, that would be my thing. Like, that would, the audience may not ever know, oh, there's an extra 2 bars. There would just be a consistent thing that made my songs different from others, because that was a thing that I did by impulse, from the desire of how I was performing and how I felt emotionally. Follow those impulses. That's how you're going to get stuff that nobody else does, because you have the impulse to do it. And there's a reason behind it for you. And if it's working, if it's landing, then it's working. If it's not landing, then you got to question it and go, oh, well, maybe it's not working. Follow your impulses. It's how you create something special. It's how you will have many, many special things that come together to make the magic that is you and the masterpiece that is you. And then you get just better and better at doing those things and evolving them and adding new layers and saying, well, this is what I want to do now. How do we add it with an orchestra? How do we do it stripped down? How do we do it with instead of a drum kit, I want this, this, and this. Because you keep following those impulses to go into the new spaces you want to be in. How do we do this in an intimate space? How do I do this at an amphitheater? How do I do this for this video? How do we do it on a film form? So many options. And the options are driven by your impulses and driven by how you want to connect with your audience and driven by where you want to take your audience. Darren Aronofsky. That is his name, right? I'm so bad with names. Hold on. Yes, Darren Aronofsky, filmmaker. I'm going to say something that, okay, tell me I'm wrong. But I think he often falls a little short in his films. But he's aiming higher than everybody. He's aiming for the next galaxy in his films. He is aiming like for this height of greatness, of divinity, of philosophy. He's an incredible director to me. And I think that he is aiming to take us to a place that very few directors or anybody ever takes anyone. And he nails it. Like he takes me there, and then whatever, it falls short for some reason. But again, he's aiming for the next galaxy. It's incredible to me. The Wachowskis filmmaking is incredible. And again, it's the vision is so strong. The depth of character is so strong. The spiritual and philosophical impact that they are taking, like having on the audience, is so great that this whole package of this film, the depth and the layers of the film are so great. I mean, and each film, the Matrix, Fountain, the Fountain. I'm so bad with names. Even my own songs, I forget titles. Run Lola Run. I'm going between these two directors, by the way. Sense8. The concept for each film they are different. But if you look at all of them as a whole, you can see the masterpiece of the whole as well. You can see the big picture that drives the artists, the director and the writers. Like, oh my gosh, there's overarching themes that are in all of them, but you also have distinctly different tones and styles and stories in each one. And that's you as an artist, as a songwriter. You are everywhere in all of your work. And then colors and shades and differences in each thing that you want to do. This is going to be glossy red, and that's going to be soft pink, and that's going to be black, and you've got different colors, but together the masterpiece is all you. So I really encourage you to get clear about your inner vision, like in this deepest imagination, how do I want to say what I say? And what is the instrumentation of it? What is the musicality of it? What is the lyric quality of it? What is the purpose of it? And when and if, I don't think it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when you need help with that. That's why I coach one-on-one. That's what my Navigator mini course is for. That's what my whole pathway is for of artist development courses. It's what Compass is for. Compass for Pro and Emerging is to help you get so clear about that inner vision and that depth of detail in order to tell your story, so that everything you make feeds the masterpiece that is you, is authentic, is true to you. And it's so much where the fun and it's where the success is, it's where the fun is, it's where the beauty is, it's where the depth and the truth is. And it's why we resonate with you, is that you are clearly layered in purpose. And that's what makes us curious. Oh, there's so much behind this song. There's so much behind this melody. There's so much behind that track. I want to know more about how and why this got made, because I can feel the depth of it. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining me, and thanks for your comments and your questions. In the posts on my YouTube channel, you'll see the long form of this, and then on my socials, you see short form as well. But please let me know topics you'd like me to cover. Come with questions at my lives. I really like this to be a conversation. And if you are interested, if you go to my Instagram, you can comment Compass on any post, and we'll give you information about Compass. You can also go to my website, wendyparr.com, and go to my Instagram bio. There are links. You can apply now because Compass doors are open. We're starting a new cycle in July. And if you are interested in getting deep into the who of who you are, and you are a pro artist, you are a working artist, you're an emerging pro artist, that's where we're at. You're a full-time artist doing this, and you want to go deeper, further, next record, next project. That's what we're doing. All right. Ask me questions, stay in touch, and thank you so much. It's a pleasure.